When the young man went to the bathroom, he suddenly heard strange noises inside. He bent down to look and found it seemed like someone was proposing. Curious, he pushed the door open without hesitation, only to discover the disheveled manager and a young assistant. The manager, whose plans were ruined, angrily punched him, causing the young man to hit his head on a stone. Unexpectedly, this turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The stone, stained with his blood, immediately began to emit a golden light. When the young man got up again, he unexpectedly had the ability to see through everything. The prices of the manager's ordinary suit, Rolex watch, and LV belt were all crystal clear to him. Just then, the female boss and her arch rival were gambling on stone betting. A master who opened the wrong stone twice immediately lost his life because their rule was that whoever lost would have to give up the mine to the other party. At this moment, the opponent had already opened a top-grade icy jadid worth 3 million. The female boss only has 3 chances left. If she can't get something better, she will lose. She called out another stone appraiser, who observed the stones and selected one with a skin covering fresh jade. The young man used his special vision and saw it was just ordinary rough stone, immediately stopping and shouting that it was just a piece of linen stone. But he was just a laborer, insignificant, and the appraiser didn't pay him any attention. However, this bold move successfully caught the female boss's attention.
Are you so sure this piece won't yield anything?
It will only yield 500 or 600.
At this moment, the female boss was still half believing, but unexpectedly, the result was exactly as the young man said, which instantly shocked everyone present, and the female boss was also moved by him. However, this undoubtedly embarrassed the eye-opening master in public. The other party was very unconvinced and vowed to regain face. After carefully selecting, they picked up another piece of material, and with only 2 chances left, the female boss immediately looked at the young man.
What do you think about this piece of material?
A bit better than the previous piece, but it's also an oil green material worth over 20,000.
Seeing the young man threaten his livelihood, the eye-opening master immediately challenged him to a bet. If the material yielded a big find, the young man would have to cut off his tongue. If the young man was right, the master would sever his own hands and retire from the trade. Soon, the material was cut, and the result was exactly as the young man had said. The female boss was completely convinced by him and decisively gave the last chance to the young man. The young man also took the opportunity to make a request. If he won, she would have to let him go home. Just because the young man was sold here by his ex-girlfriend to work as a miner, even one of his kidneys was taken. However, if the young man lost, he would lose his life. After the first 2 tests, the young man was full of confidence. He immediately used his insight to find the most valuable piece of material, but unexpectedly, there was nothing after the first cut. This instantly made the young man the target of everyone's criticism. To save his life, he quickly drew another line for the master to continue cutting, but again, nothing came out. Now only the middle part remains uncut. The lady boss immediately became angry and pressed a needle against the young man's forehead. Just as the young man's life was hanging by a thread, a loud shout came.
It's out! It's a super big find!
Hearing this, the young man finally breathed a sigh of relief. According to the master's appraisal, this is top-grade Imperial Green Jadid, worth over 7 million. With this, the lady boss won the stone gambling without a doubt.